Hey and welcome back to the Talos Principle. We are at 100% of the basic sigils, but that does mean that there is still something left. Not just the tower, but also, it should be over here, the stargates. Okay, not the stargate, right? But like the gate with the star on them. Still though, I kind of want to check them out before I do the rest. There's still some stars I don't really get how to get, but that doesn't actually matter. At this moment, it's just, I just care about solving this. As always, these puzzles are probably going to be the death of me. I'm just gonna, try things, and either they're going to work or they won't work. This can't work. This can't work. Maybe something like that, because then I can put an L shape in here. And this one in here, but this is still terrible, because I can't do this, so I can't have this one here. I'm still gonna experiment, right? Like, I'm not quite done. The other one way around could basically fit. This one could fit. Yeah, this would need a Z shape. I don't know how close I am to the solution. You know, sometimes you just get it, sometimes you don't. That's just life. Sometimes, and I was also like not a straight piece, which is interesting. I don't think we've had that before, but how about this? And with that, this is the first star area, whatever that means. I am myself mostly just questioning that. There are apparently 3 puzzles and we don't see what kind of pieces they need, but here we go. And we do have stuff. Okay, 3 double stars? Okay. Definitely thematically it still seems like this area. We do have the serpent looking again. Not sure if I'm like doing something out of order and this is going to spoil something for me. This is like always like something I'm worried about. But I hope that the creators have been very smart about this. This is kind of what I want to say. Where they wouldn't spoil you in case you want to go out of order. And something. I guess the serpent doesn't talk to us though. We have Talos, human blood, archive important. That's very important, right? It says important. It's probably final version 7 as well. And 6_N double star image. Okay, how are you? I'm just gonna start at the beginning. I'm just gonna question how this format works. From Alexander Drennan to the Nomadics mailing list. Subject is NML, so Nomadics mailing list, I'm guessing Talos Principle. Have you heard of the Talos Principle? It's this old philosophical concept about the impossibility of avoiding reality. No matter what you believe, if you lose your blood, you will die. I think that applies to our situation more than we'd like to admit. We could close our eyes and pretend that everything's going to be alright, but it won't change the physical reality of what's going to happen to our bodies. No? Something? I think that as scientists, it is our duty to face the truth and to ask ourselves the most important question: how can we help? There is a lot of ASCII here. I feel like I think I have an idea. This also seems rather important. Like normally you get like a little note at the end, but this feels like something I might have to translate for myself. So I guess I'm gonna do it now. Okay, I guess I was wrong about that. For some reason I thought this would be part of the mail, but apparently it's not. It just says, I've just copied it over right now. No man is liberated from fear who dare not see his place in the world as it is. No man can achieve the greatness of which he is capable until he has allowed himself to see his own littleness. I mean, sure, but like here's the thing where I translated it right now. It's more about I thought this would be like directly related to the mail, like part of the mail. That's kind of how I want to put it, because like normally those ASCII codes are actually part or like related to it, but like completely or like taken out of context of the original. I do think that they are talking about like, right, like they have like the Talos Principle and they don't know how can they help, right? Like they have to see their hopelessness or like how little they are to really see what they can achieve, right? Like in the face of danger, if you're really pressed against the wall, to see how far you can go, which you generally don't have to, right? Like, I guess a limitation breeds innovation kind of thing, right? That's like a thing that I had to think about. But there's like another one, right? Another thing you sometimes hear when it comes to that. But yeah, I agree, right? Like, if you are never forced to do something, right? Like, if you're never forced to cross the boundaries that you believe yourself in when it comes to your capabilities, by some external factor, then you're probably never going to grow and you're never going to see how far you actually can go. But this text kind of implies that I am going to go back to what I did before, because I hate halting the episode for like 10 minutes just to copy over some numbers, right? Like this takes actually a lot longer than it seems like, because I also have to like proofread and stuff. And have to check that I get like all of this copied over correctly. Would be easier if I could just copy paste it like from the game, but I can't, right? It's like, it doesn't take like too long, but it's like 5 minutes for like a text like that, which is annoying. Anyway, human blood, probably related also to the Talos Principle, because we've had it before, that if you don't have blood, then you are not Talos, or something like that. Not quite, but sure. Again by Samuel Butler. Okay. It is said by some that our blood is composed of infinite living agents which go up and down the highways and byways of our bodies as people in the streets of a city. Something? And one generation passeth away and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. There's a function, some ASCII. And the sleep of the town, how lifelike, with its change in the circulation. We are misled by considering any complicated machine as a single thing. In truth, it is a city or society, each member of which was bred truly after its kind. Okay, yeah. We kind of had like the idea that a system could also be, I guess, a whole, right? Like, I think I talked about this like 2 gardens ago or something like that, where I had the idea, okay, what if like the serpent is part of us, or like the future us, right? Like my idea is that we are going to upload ourselves somehow into a machine, however that's possible, and we would bring both Elohim and the serpent with us, for example, right? Like we would make up a whole together, but we alone also see ourselves like as our own person. But this is just like a small thing, right? Because we're currently talking about like our personhood, I guess. But yeah, like even we as humans, we are composed of like tons of microorganisms that also do their own thing, that all have their own, I guess, goals to achieve, their own lives in a way. Not, like we might not consider them to be, I guess, as complete as lives as we humans, but like we have like a lot of gut bacteria, for example, that does its stuff, right? This is also living in a way. Just because it's not going to university, that does not mean that there isn't some life inside of us just existing in its entirely own world. But hey, let's close that. Archive importance, probably important. It says so. To 504 recipients. Okay. Arkady Chernevsky and Univ something error with an ASCII maybe? Could be. 47, yeah, that's just an even amount of numbers. Anyway. I keep this short. You all know me, so you know that I know what I'm talking about. I realize that you are all working on projects meant to somehow avert the catastrophe we are facing, but you must all concede that there is a very real possibility that you will not have enough time to find a solution. I believe that we cannot afford to ignore an extinction or a near-extinction scenario. We must prepare for the worst. That is to say, we must seek to preserve the non-biological components of what constitutes the human species, in the hope they will be recovered in the future by other, local or non-local sentients. I know that we are not used to thinking on that scale, not in terms of praxis. But if we truly value humanity, then we must act immediately. You find the details of my proposal in the attachment, but the short version is this. the creation of multiple archives, for redundancy, in safe locations that will contain in digital form as much information about our species, including all cultural works, scientific insights, history, DNA, as can be gathered in the given time frame. This will be massive. This will be a massive global undertaking. Something with EL naturally being one of the cannot find attachment. I mean, yeah, it kind of makes... Okay, there are two things. This is actually interesting that this project actually came after Extended Lifespan. And there's actually two different ones, explicitly, right? Like, I was always unsure about that, how they would be combined. But yeah, like, preserving, I guess, the non-biological aspects, as they put it, where the history is kind of preserved. That there are actually plants like that in a way in the real world. Not necessarily like for all knowledge, even though that would be probably smart, right? Like, there are technically projects for that, right? We talked about like the I guess people who archive a lot of stuff, especially on the internet, which is already digital, try to preserve it for future generations or just for themselves, because there are so many reasons why media can be lost. I'm gonna call it like media in this case, right? There's like a lot of stuff that can be lost, but like whether it be film, game, book, whatever. If the last physical copy is gone, it's a lot easier to, I guess, recreate it having digital ones, because like you can I guess copy paste the digital ones as many times as you need, and it's very little effort comparatively, at least, right? I guess compared to like the physical ones, which makes preserving that stuff a little bit easier, assuming you have like enough servers, even though it's like still expensive, right? That data doesn't come cheap. Luckily, text is actually really easily I guess savable if you have like raw text. But when it comes to like, for example, images, that gets a little bit harder. It is still very basically unbelievable how Google and YouTube basically can save so much data, and importantly, redundantly on their servers, right? Like, it's so expensive if you really think about it, just because like video holds like so much more information than a text would. Right, like compared to, like, you can easily download Wikipedia, for example, and get like basically all the data on there. Maybe even all the pictures. I've never tried that, but at least all the text, and it's not that massive, right? Like a PC can technically hold that on that level, at least like for a language or something like that. But it's all text. But you would struggle to find a PC that can hold even a fraction of every video that's like on YouTube, for example. But yeah, I want to talk about that. There was like another thing. Oh yeah, and this is not just about preserving that thing, because sometimes it's also about like warnings. There is like the very real idea that maybe like humanity may go extinct, right? Like imagine like a third world war or something scary like that, or whatever else could lead to the human extinction. And then whatever would survive after that would maybe be thrown back into the Stone Ages, essentially. And then the question is, how would we save those people from, for example, the end storages for like nuclear fuel rods and stuff, right? Like the stuff that's still going to be radioactive in like hundreds of thousands of years. Like there's definitely been a lot of thought about that, like how would you communicate that, because you cannot guarantee that our language is going to survive, even like a fraction of that. So you would have to do that via images and stuff, and like how would you, I guess, really depict the danger that is in a place without making people curious? That's probably something that I wanted to talk about, right? This is not directly the same as archiving data, but it kinda goes technically in the opposite direction, right? Like in this case, you want to make sure that nobody reaches a place and does not get the knowledge. Let's call it the knowledge, or like the treasure. Let's call it the treasure inside, because that's dangerous, right? At least until they are smart enough to really deal with that. But when will they be? You have no idea, right? Anyway, that's like a minor anecdote there. We still have like the 6 and IMG. Oh, there's actually an image. Oh! This definitely looks like our good old tower that we've had outside. That's interesting. And this is the first image that we are getting. What's the N star star standing for? Like the 6 is confusing enough because like why 6? We have like 3 other areas around there. Maybe they're like 6 floors? Huh. Not quite sure, but it is interesting that this is actually saved on here. I don't think that this is actually something that exists in real life. I would be surprised if it did and they like copied it into the game. But still, I'm just gonna leave it. This was a rather short reading section here. So I'm gonna try like one of the puzzles. I'm assuming it was like a short one because I'm cutting out like 5 minutes of me just copying stuff over. So at least let's check out the areas around here. Maybe, like we don't even have to do like the extra puzzles, but maybe we can find some other things here that would be curious. Like Sellafield. Few come this far, but I believe we must seek out the secrets of this world if we want to truly serve the generations to come. Maybe. I mean, technically, this specific program that we're in here might not even be to serve the generations to come, right? Like the archive might be, but this is technically not the archive, right? Also, what's an X again? Okay. I mean, I'm taking that X. I don't mind. There's probably something I want to open then. Okay, we have a jammer over there. Ooh, smash. So apparently there are more puzzles in here that are not locked behind the gates then? That's curious actually. We do have a jammer. I don't know why I wouldn't want that jammer. I at least want to look at like all of the walls. I don't actually know if there are like secret stars here. If there are, that would be actually interesting. Oh, you're just lagging. That would be rather interesting because that would mean that you don't even need all the stars from the outside. Did I just see something weird, or was probably just some leafage here? Okay. I'm gonna leave you here. Just so I can find you again. Wait. Where am I dropping you? Dropped you somewhere. Was that a stupid idea? I just wanted to put you like on the pedestal again, but I guess that didn't quite work. Am I blind? Did I break something? I mean, worst case, I'm just gonna reload the stage if I need one again. But we do have a jammer now. That's useful for something. We have this thing. We can jump up here. And we can jump over. Maybe this is like part of the puzzle. Yeah, we're landing inside of a puzzle. We do have something else. Dum Dum Mine. Interesting. Normally we don't get the info where we are if we glitch into an area. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna... You know what? This is going to be a short episode. I'm just gonna cut here and we're going to do this puzzle in the next episode just because it's thematically might be better. So in any case, I hope you enjoyed the reading and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. I'll be seeing you next time. Till then, have a good one and bye bye.